Hey, Alan, is that you in the chat? I'll, I'll begin the talking in just a second. I'm just getting ready on social media. Just getting ready here. Instagram's being a bit of a pain. Oh, hey, looks like the link is working now. So I think that I'll go and get started here. So yeah, that is definitely you, Alan. So what's going on, guys? Blood Moon Bobby here, and as you can see, I've been cosplaying as Ness all day long today. Just making sure that volume is adjusted properly. So yep. So yeah. So basically, this Halloween, I've been dressing up. I'm gonna be adjusting volume as I talk. I've been cosplaying as Ness all day long, even at work today, because they had a Halloween costume contest there. I mainly just, came to say, hey, I wanted to cosplay as Ness because I started playing Earthbound. I'm really enjoying the game so far. I know quite a bit about the story of both Earthbound and Mother 3. The latter of which, I'm learning about the game through watching gameplay of the fan translation. I'm still hoping against hope. I mean, I know I've said many times in the case of Mother 3, I know the odds of that game coming to the States officially and getting translated is kind of slim to none, because if you do research about the content in the game, you can see why. But I still like to hope against hope. There are just certain things in the video game industry that, you know, because if I was just completely a realist, then I wouldn't, see some things coming. I don't know why. I mean, there have been bigger things that have been happening in this industry before, but it's the same industry where I don't think anybody was expecting. Let me pull this game up. Doom to come to Nintendo Switch, and lo and behold, it did, and it's a really good port too. So I'd like to think that miracles can occasionally happen, not every day, but I'd like to hope. But anyway, I'm talking too much. So yeah, I'm basically here dressed up as Ness. This is going to be more of a fun sort of live stream where I I'm open to asking you all, how's your Halloween been? Did you get to dress up at work? Did you get to go out to a Halloween party? You could tell me all about it in the chat here. I don't want to call this a AMA session because I'm not really comfortable with doing an AMA myself. But this is just sort of stream where I come over and say hey, let's hang out and talk about some fun things. I mean, I'm also open to if some of you are interested in asking me my thoughts on recent topics I've covered for my YouTube channel. I um I actually really wanted to get a video out today where I review Frankenweenie. I saw the 2012 uh, version of Frankenweenie, the feature film, the stop motion movie, and I thought it was actually a pretty good one. But I kind of made quite a big factual error when I tried filming it last night. So I'm gonna have to do that probably tomorrow. And I've also been taking notes on the recent announcements of HBO Max. Close Enough is coming to the service, yay! Although the reported price, the standard price for HBO Max, sounds kind of pricey at $15 a month. There's some exceptions for like AT&T and HBO customers, but since I'm neither, it looks like I'm gonna have to pony up that 15, which easily makes it one of the more expensive video streaming options coming out. So but I'm still gonna check it out. It's one of the new services that I'm pretty interested in. So on the note of HBO Max, I'll still check it out when the service launches. I believe in May of 2020, if I remember correctly. So yeah, I mean, we could also talk a bit about Earthbound. As far as my progress in Earthbound, I'll be honest and say that so far in the game, I just erased the first pencil statue that Ness has come across. He's been getting like when you go to sleep in this part of the game, when you get to Tucson, the town. Sounds like I think there's a town in Tucson in Arizona, but whatever. When he goes to sleep, he starts hearing Paula saying, basically, I need your help. I'm a friend that you haven't met yet. So very interested in hopefully meeting Paula. And what's been helping me, let me actually get something I wanted to show you. But feel free to go ahead and start leaving comments. Let me just answer a reply I got. Okay, so I was about to show you something on my iPad that's been helping me with Earthbound. No, not my car. Her manual. And hopefully, yeah, I've actually been reading through the official. I can't really get a shot. The official Earthbound Player's Guide. I've just been having it on my iPad. I have it sitting next to me when I get to play the game. So yeah, it's definitely helped me quite a bit. So I'll still admit I'm very amateurish when it comes to actually playing like RPGs in general. But after I saw the Angry Video Game Nerd episode on Earthbound, especially he goes into very deep detail on things like the land of Magicant, and also even like just going into how Gygus is this villain that is a very abstract villain. You can't really make sense out of him. And like when I discovered these things, and also when I discovered that the game kind of dived pretty deep into Ness's character, I was like, whoa, this is the game that like I missed out on. And that's what motivated me to get back into playing Earthbound. I mean, I actually did buy both Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings. Earthbound Beginnings, in case you don't know, that's the original Mother game that was released on the Famicom. Me and my sis, we bought those games back when they were first released on the American Wii U Virtual Console, and we tried playing it, but we were like, we're not sure what to do. But seeing that AVGN episode actually, I think, really helped me out and motivated me, which is kind of gets into how I'm sort of weird with spoilers because there's certain things when it comes to spoilers where I don't want to hear any spoilers at all because if I do, who I feel like it's gonna ruin the experience for me. Like in the case of Star vs. Forces of Evil, I was very anti spoilers. I still remember finding about the scene where Jackie and Marco kissed. Like I found out that somebody uploaded to YouTube, and when I saw that, at I didn't actually watch the clip on YouTube. I saw it in the episode, but when I saw somebody uploaded it, I was like, I got spoiled. Yeah, and I remember whenever I would get spoiled, me and Gabby would get so. I guess you could say we would be thrown into such a frenzy. We would just be like rage typing on like Facebook Messenger. But in the case of Earthbound, and even in the case of something like Avatar: The Last Airbender, like actually hearing the spoilers, it's the kind of case where it's like I hear there's more information I don't know about. I'm like give it to me. Like in the case of Avatar, I remember reading a book, like a book adaptation of Sozin's Comet, and this was before the actual Sozin's Comet TV movie aired. And there were some pretty big differences between the book and the actual finale. Particularly, I think in the book, instead of Aang, you know how in Avatar spoilers, Aang's scar on his back, it hits this rock and that triggers the Avatar state. In the book, what happens is that Aang gets kind of thrown unconscious because of the continuous fire blast coming from Ozai, and then he starts having visions of Katara. So I don't know what it is. It's a really subjective case. I guess for me, it's like shipping and spoilers, the two most subjective things that I can't always explain. Why is it with some franchises I don't want to hear spoilers, and then there's some where it's like the spoilers actually get me more engaged. So I don't know. I mean, if I just said, "Oh, it's a matter of interest," then that just makes me sound like kind of a jerk. Hey Eric, how are you doing? How's your Halloween been? So yeah, once again, feel free to join the chat. It's meant to be, meant to be fun, just meant to have a good time and talking about, good times we have, the shows and video games that we really like. Um, yeah, and also major kudos to my sister for helping find the shirt and the cap that I'm wearing to make this costume. So yeah, so major shout out to her. She was actually trying to prepare a Kumatora costume. Kumatora is one of the lead female characters in Mother 3, the one with the pink hair, and she, swears like a sailor. It's funny. I've been kind of going around, telling like, friends and family that, oh my god, in Mother 3, there's this character that, goes over, like, has quite a bit of a potty mouth, and she's a bit of a tomboy. I mean, I don't want to like start swearing at this hour. I mean, when I say that, she swears like a sailor. She doesn't, say like, fuck and shit. She says words like in the fan translations. I know she uses words like damn and bastard and that sort of thing. And it's not that there's never been any swearing in Nintendo games. and in Punishment is a perfect example, a really good game for the N64. It's just that we don't see that come around, super often, especially in one of Nintendo's more famous franchises. So yeah, but I still, really think that she's a cool character, and yes, but unfortunately my sister's been like really busy with school and that sort of thing. So we're hoping that she'll be able to cosplay as Kumatora at maybe like an upcoming convention. I don't want to get into too many details about what I want the next convention to be because we're still like trying to figure out if we're gonna be able to actually go. So I won't really talk about it here. Yeah, I may as well talk a little bit about Earthbound Beginnings I don't know. It's weird because like when we last leveled off, I don't remember how, but we somehow ended up in Magicant, and I guess just through trial and error. But now that I've done some more learning about the game, I'm almost tempted to honestly start Earthbound Beginnings over, or because one is because like when I started off, I had really no idea what I was doing, so I'm probably gonna have to use like a gaming website guide, and also because I didn't know the names of the side characters. I knew who Ninten was, and I actually kind of want to talk about Ninten for a second, but I didn't know what the side characters' names were. Like I didn't know who Anna, Teddy, and Lloyd were, but now that I do, I want to just kind of start over. So yeah, so this time just playing it more intelligently, I guess, for a lack of a way to describe it. So what did Eric say? Kumatora is awesome. I hope she will be able to do it at some point. What do you mean by do it, Eric? Mm. But yeah, speaking of Nintendo, I did imply on Twitter that I'm hoping that Nintendo will be the next cosplay I work on. And the funny thing is that like I'm gonna tell a story about when I first heard that Earthbound Beginnings was getting an international release, and that is, and I wouldn't be surprised if people, because I don't think very many people played the original Mother outside of Japan, of course, but in the case of Earthbound Beginnings, when I first saw the trailer, and I saw the character's name was Ninten, I was like, "Is that a placeholder name? Is that just Ness but with a placeholder?" And then I found out that no, that's his name. So I was like, okay." Which, not making fun of him. I'm sure he's a really cool guy. I just found it kind of funny that in the case of Earthbound Beginnings, it's like they literally named a Nintendo character by just taking the dough away from Nintendo. So, but yeah, so of course I find out, and I started thinking, how do you tell the difference between Nintendo and Ness? Like if somebody were to cosplay as him, because in Earthbound Beginnings, like if you compare what Nintendo looks like to Ness, they look really similar. So for a while I was thinking, does this mean they're basically interchangeable? Which the fan community would tell you otherwise, because basically from what I understand, the way the fan base discerns Nintendo from Ness is that first thing, Nintendo doesn't wear a backpack, and a lot of how the fan base perceives like a Nintendo cosplay is actually based on a Japanese commercial for the original Mother, where they had a child actor playing Nintendo, and he had this red and white striped shirt and this bandana. So when you see things like fan art of Nintendo or people cosplaying, that's how they usually go about it. And I actually really like the fan designs of what Nintendo looks like with this idea in mind. So I'm gonna have to find things like finding such a shirt and a tiger chief. So, and the other thing too, another key detail is fans will tell you that Nintendo um, has like sort of not spiky, but like the ends of his hair are kind of more spiky, more angular, whereas with Ness, the hair strands are more rounded. So kind of an interesting detail, although that's not really something that I could personally pull off. What Eric say? When he was saying, I hope she'll be able to do it at some point, he meant that he was hoping that my sister will be able to cosplay Kumatora at some point. Really hope so too. She really has gotten into Kumatora's character, and he also said, "Sorry if I'm not specific at points. I'm not used to live chats at the moment." But it's fine. And just comment and have fun, Eric. There's no need to be sorry. So might as well show you because my 3DS XL is dying. If you're wondering where I currently am in Earthbound, I mentioned before that I just erased the first pencil statue, but if you wanted to get a good look, there it is. Gonna have to shut that off so that I don't see that dreaded blinking light. And by the blinking light, why am I having this issue lately where I sometimes pronounce like words that start with L with like a W? By the way, yes, this is the new 3DS that we got off eBay. This we were so me and my sis, we were kind of debating, what 3DS we should get. I wanted to get a red one because my favorite color is red, but my sis wanted something blue, and we couldn't really find. We had trouble finding like a blue colored version on the US variant of eBay. I'm pretty sure somebody is going to be able to find it within 10 seconds, but yeah, which is kind of weird because I know that when the new 3DS XL came out in like Europe and Australia, there was just a straightforward blue version. So the closest we got is this one here, this purple Galaxy version with a cover with a purple starry sky, and kind of looks like macOS 10 Leopard's wallpaper, but the inside is a really dark shade of blue. And I actually really like this dark shade of blue. And the reason we upgraded is because on our black new 3DS XL, unfortunately, the R button. Let me actually see if you could see it on. It stopped working. Like it stuck, and I wasn't really comfortable doing the repair on it. And when I tried to go to Nintendo's website and see how much it would cost to repair, they were like, "Oh, $85," and I was like, I don't know about that. And also, I was kind of interested in getting another 3DS anyway, and sort of collect, I guess you could say, for lack of a better word. So we're like, okay, cool, we'll just transfer information, and there you go. So yeah, that's the story of the new 3DS XL. Once again, Alan, Eric, everyone else out there, what have you been doing for your Halloween? Did you all dress up? Let me know. So yeah, it's definitely been really cool. Alan said many new Nintendo. I'm getting tongue tied. Many new Nintendo 3DS XLs I've seen were really cool, and some were Japan only. Actually, speaking of blue new 3DS XLs, I do remember there was a Monster Hunter version, but I couldn't really find a super affordable one on eBay at the time. So that was also something that we could have considered. I don't really know too much about the Japanese versions of the new 3DS XL. I know that Japan has like a tendency of getting all the really cool colors, and then in America it's like they stick to like a very standard set of colors. But is there a particular version from Japan that looks really nice, Alan? So yeah, once again, people stopping by, don't be shy. Tell me about your Halloween, and we can talk about other subjects too, particularly things like entertainment, video games, shows that I should probably be watching. So yeah, don't be shy, please. But yeah, I think I'll try my best to really stick to talking about franchises like Earthbound and Mother. I guess the other kind of interesting thing is that I talked about how I erased that pencil statue in Earthbound. I kind of found it fascinating. I was watching Censored Gaming's video where they talked about some of the differences between Mother 2 and Actually, what did you just say? I wasn't able to dress up this year. Really wish I could have dressed up since it's been like 5 years after the last time I did it. I was also planning to maybe watch any Halloween specials. Yeah, I'm kind of in the similar boat to you, Eric. I really didn't have time to watch. Fortunately, didn't really have time to watch Halloween specials this year. I think for me, the closest would have been Tim Burton's Frankenweenie, because I saw that I finished watching the movie. I think it was yesterday. So, but yeah, I know that for instance, it's the Great Pumpkin Charlie Brown was airing on ABC. I think it actually aired twice, and but for me, I mean, it still kind of sucks that I didn't get to watch them with my sister. But at the same time, I do, you know, it's cliched to say, but having the memories of watching those specials as a kid, it's like, hey, that's you know, I could remember them surprisingly pretty well. So at least in my case, it still would have been nice if I got to see them. But when 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 lack of time really hurts you, then your memories are what you have, I guess. So yeah, do you have a particular favorite Halloween special or movie, Eric? Again, I usually don't like to name like a super absolute favorite because it's hard for me to pick. I know among Tim Burton movies, some of my favorites include Corpse Bride, which Corpse Bride might actually be my favorite Tim Burton stop motion movie, and I also like Beetlejuice. I saw relatively recently. I also saw, I don't know, does Pee Wee's Big Adventure count? At least with the Large Marge scene, which first time I saw Large Marge, that actually startled me when she makes the transition of talking about the person on the Empire State Building. It was like, you look like this, like with the stop motion face. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I have read in the comments that for a lot of kids, like for a lot of people that watched it as a kid, that actually legitimately scared them as a kid. And it's funny, I actually asked Gabby, and I'm not saying this to saying, oh, tee hee ha ha, why are you, so scared? Like, I totally get that. I was a person, like, when I was a kid, I did not want to see even the slightest drop of blood anywhere. But yeah, it's kind of funny. I actually talked to Gabby about that particular scene in Pee Wee's Big Adventure, and she said she didn't get spooked by that scene because she said that, oh, it's just like something out of SpongeBob. So it's kind of an interesting note. Mentioned Eric says, I can't really think of which one is my absolute favorite. Maybe the Nightmare Before Christmas. I also like Nightmare Before Christmas as well. James and the Giant Peach. I think I mentioned before that technically my favorite Tim Burton movie is Edward Scissorhands. So, yeah, which it's kind of funny because like I remember seeing like in the case of Scissorhands, I first heard of that movie. I think it was from the packaging of Corpse Bride because on the back the DVD cover it said from the creator of Nightmare Before Christmas, which I ended up seeing, and Corpse Bride. So not Corpse, Edward Scissorhands, and I was like, oh, what's it about? And I saw the poster of, it's the poster where they had the couple of head trimmings, and they just have it's a blue poster where Edward is looking at like his hands, and I was like, ooh, that looks really creepy. It's kind of like I guess it was honestly on the same level as how I felt about Brundlefly from the 1986 version of The Fly. I still can't look at Brundlefly and not be the slightest bit creeped out. I mean, I honestly still get nightmares about that movie. It's still a really good movie, by the way. I'm just saying that it succeeded in, scaring the crap out of me. But, yeah, so I was like, I don't know about Scissorhands. And then I think my dad said he didn't really like it, but he still seemed interested in at least showing me the movie, and I was still like, I don't know. And he did acknowledge that yeah, there's scenes where like he accidentally cuts people. Oh yes, I know the scene with Jim at the end where Edward takes him out by impaling his stomach and dropping him from that a window. But yeah, I ended up seeing it in middle school. I actually saw a trailer for that movie, and I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, he's actually like a really gentle character, or he's just misunderstood. I could actually kind of relate to that, and that's how I watched the movie. And yeah, became my favorite Tim Burton film. So anyway, getting back to the live chat here, Caitlin, how you doing? I saw the Twitter picture where you were cosplaying as Star. You looked really great. You said you went trick or treating as Star, which is absolutely wonderful. So yeah, it sounded like you had a really good time. Did you get a whole bunch of candy? Definitely, I'm looking forward to hearing back. I do still remember that. I think Caitlin, you said you cosplayed as Blood Moon Star at Long Beach Comic Con the day before I went this year, which actually sounds really amazing. So yeah, but but yeah, we were kind of talking about Halloween specials. Again, I don't know if I have seen I've talked about both versions of The Fly quite a bit on my YouTube channel. Really great. I would say, even though I personally prefer the 1986 version, because I really like what David Cronenberg was able to do with a remake of The Fly. I'd still say both movies work really well as far as movies to watch on Halloween. I guess the main thing I would say, if you like the creepiness of Halloween, but you don't like things like super gross imagery or jump scares, I would say stick to the 1958 version of The Fly with Vincent Price, because the 86 version basically it's pretty much a gore fest from the second act onward. This process of just watching Jeff Goldblum's character Seth Brundle slowly transform into this fly creature, and it's even sad to think about this idea that you kind of get this feeling from the middle that he's not going to turn back into a human, partially because his mind is becoming sort of more like an animal, and he's even kind of fascinated by the transformation. Even when he's losing his body parts, like his ear falls off, his teeth falls off, he puts them in his medicine cabinet. So yeah, so yeah, it's definitely. I still remember after I saw that movie in a film studies class in college. I came back because I was a multimedia editor for my school's newspaper. I came back from that, and my editor in chief was saying hello, and all the editors were looking at me, and I had this look on my face like I saw something significant, and we just kind of laughed it off. So yeah, just wanted to bring that out there. So yeah, but once again, feel free to join the chat. Guess the other thing is that I'm definitely not going to spoil the ending of either version, though. So yeah, so guess while waiting on more people to join the chat, what else could I really say about Earthbound? I don't really want to talk too much in detail about them. The good news was that at work today, people who saw my cosplay, they knew I was cosplaying as Ness. Actually, when I was working really early this morning, a worker came by and he was like, PK fire, and that gave me an indication that hey, he knows me from he knows that I'm cosplaying as Ness, and he started talking to me about oh, do you play Smash? And I told him I've played each version, but Melee was the first. And then later on that day, I was walking to my lunch break, and I came across the department, and I heard somebody shout out Ness, like Ness's name. And it was and I came across a friend of mine that works in the department, and he was also really cool with the costume. And yeah, it was just totally lots of fun to cosplay as Ness. It does kind of fascinate me that I think for a lot of us, I know there's people out there who've known about Earthbound and even played it back when it first came out, but it seems like most people I know of Ness because of Super Smash Brothers, which I honestly kind of feel is a bit of a it's kind of a double-edged sword in the case of the Earthbound franchise, because on one hand, it's great that we're all being introduced to Earthbound. People are discovering it. That's how I discovered it. But at the same time, I think Earthbound, it's a really tricky game for Nintendo to advertise, because at least to me, I feel that the meat of Earthbound is its themes and just how incredibly abstract and deep that game gets. So it's really a tough thing to sell, because my honest impression of Ness when I first played Smash was like, who's this kid that just runs around shooting sparks? And I'm not the only one who's like that. There's even people out there who are straight up annoyed by Ness's constant whining, and how I even remember, I think it was like YouTube comment where somebody he was like, why do I have to keep hearing this kid say PK Fire 150 times? Or I'm paraphrasing, but that was basically the effect. But but of course, the good news is that, and I do hope that, now that the game is released, I did hear people say, this game actually gets, kind of mature and dark, but I didn't really know the details until I saw the Angry Video Game Nerd episode on the game. But I do hope that, because Earthbound has become a much more well-known franchise, that a lot of people have discovered it in a similar way I have, where they were genuinely surprised that, hey, this game is actually kind of deep. And even in Earthbound itself, when you play the game, you do get the sense that, okay, you're going on this adventure, but many of the scenes are like very self-contained. It's like the thought of fighting Gygas or something like the Magicant scene coming up, it almost like doesn't, really come to mind. It just feels like such a super concentrated experience that I could see where a person's coming from if they're like, what is gonna happen? I'm just fighting enemies here, but when's the epic stuff gonna start off? So it's a really tricky game to market, and I think the thing that works against Earthbound but does give the game its charm is that a lot of the good stuff in Earthbound is really difficult to come across if you've never played the game before, or especially if you're not sure what's going to happen. For me, that's the draw that got me into playing Earthbound and watching cutscenes of Mother 3. So yeah, Eric, what did you say? I got to see many people in costume today. My friend even got to dress up as Ness today. Oh, that's really cool. Well, hey, I guess we're matching, you could say. But yeah, definitely I'm really happy to hear. I have seen if you go on I'm recommending this site, but if you go on Google Images, you could see quite a few people like to cosplay as characters from the Earthbound and Mother games. Like I've seen people cosplay as the principal characters of Mother 3, like Flint and Kumatora, and like I mentioned earlier, I've seen people cosplay as the principal characters of Earthbound and Earthbound Beginnings. So yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. Oh, I started humming the music that plays in Earthbound's cave. I mean, the other thing I wanted to say about Earthbound is if I'm not gushing this game enough is that the music in the three games are just, it's honestly some of Nintendo's best. I think the composers that creators Shigesato Itoi has worked with over the years have easily made some of the catchiest tunes that you'll find in any Nintendo game. I even outside of today, I often like, when I'm at work, we're allowed to listen to music. So I often like to play the soundtrack from the three games, Earthbound Beginnings, Earthbound, and Mother 3 at work. Oh my god, I remember I very recently came across the Catherine Warwick rendition of the Pollyanna song, and it honestly nearly moved me to tears. I discovered that by watching. Let me see if I could actually find. I want to give this YouTuber a shout out because that music video was just wonderful. It was from Project PK Flash. That tribute, that honestly nearly moved me to tears. It was just, really wonderful. I think they definitely, gave Ness, a really great personality and a really, and it was a really good look at, what comes through the adventures in Earthbound, you know. Especially, there's a particular ending, in that music video, and I thought it was just really sweet. Yeah, it's honestly even to the point where I'm surprised. It's not that I want to make Masahiro Sakurai work even harder than he already has. I do believe that the guy really needs to take a break, especially prior to when the next Smash Brothers game has to be made. But I would like to see Nintendo's composers put even more of Earthbound's songs in Super Smash Brothers. I even wish they put some of the original versions of songs, like the Catherine Warwick Pollyanna, for instance, or the Ness, the bicycle theme. You know that little tune that plays like when he goes riding his bicycle. I thought that was also pretty nice. Um, I know I think they put something from Mother 3's soundtrack in. Um, I forgot the particular name, but I know they put a music track from Mother 3 in some of the Smash Brothers games. But yeah, Mother 3 has like some really good tunes too. Which ones are coming to mind? Mr. Batty Twist, Porky's Porky's. Porky's Porky's actually kind of sounds similar to something you'd hear in the Smash Brothers games. Um, Bon Voyage, Amigo. Curious to see, would they put something like the Magypsy Party soundtrack in Smash? If you've seen gameplay, the scene, especially scenes where they go to the Magypsies' homes, the theme that plays, da 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 da, with the saxophone. I thought, it's like, oh, this is actually really amazing. So yeah, and I think that's something that I know Earthbound fans really love, especially Pollyanna, but I do think that the soundtrack in these games, I honestly don't think they get enough credit. I think they honestly deserve to be up there with some of the best music that Nintendo has put in their games. So yeah, so anybody else joining the chat? Anyone still here? Let me know how your Halloween has been, or if you want to discuss other topics like Earthbound, or some of the topics that I've been discussing on my YouTube channel. I am planning to film more videos this coming weekend, and I do hope that I could finally get my things together and upload on a more consistent schedule. Part of it is because of work, but part of it is also I have to get over things like procrastination and things like that. But I am really glad that, I could be back on camera doing this live stream tonight for Halloween. The other thing, too, is I did upload, there's a very special intro. There's a, special intro that me and my sis have worked on. It's supposed to be a parody of that Earthbound intro scene, where it says that, what does it say? Again, I know in Mother 2 it says Gygas strikes back, but, I think it was the war against Gygas. Let me see. I'm having such a brain fart moment. Yeah, the war against Gygas. And we made a kind of a parody version, and even though Halloween's over, I still want to use it in a few of my upcoming videos because it basically took us nearly a month to finish. So I'm basically making an altered version for some of my upcoming videos because I'd really hate to see that intro go to waste. Although the interesting thing about out Halloween is that the second Halloween ends, everybody starts, getting ready for Christmas, which I'm kind of like that too. I wait around, a whole year just for when it's cool to start listening to Christmas songs again, and when Starbucks starts selling their holiday drinks like the gingerbread latte and the chestnut praline latte. Yeah, actually see. Yeah, let me see if I could ask a certain someone to come by my live stream. Hey, Javi, I saw that you decided to you came back on Twitter, so I figured that it would be a perfect time for you to just come on here and have a good time. So, how have you been? How's your Halloween been? Did you do something amazing? Did you dress up? I really want to get this live stream going. So yeah, don't worry. I'm not gonna like spend the whole stream just I'm spamming people to come check out the stream. Hobby says you don't celebrate Halloween. No, okay. Um, which is cool. To his Christianity. But yeah, so but yeah, we've just been having a good time tonight. I chatted quite a bit about the Earthbound and Mother franchises, but I've also been spending time talking about other things like favorite um, Halloween movies and that sort. But we could chat about basically anything that's fun. Again, I don't want to call this like an AMA session because I feel like that would be going places I wouldn't exactly be comfortable with going. But if you want to come on here and talk about things like Star vs. the Forces of Evil, I'm definitely down with that. It's really basically up to you all in the chat. Let's have fun tonight for lack of a better way to describe it. Alan says 2 months away from my birthday on the 25th. Um, by 2 months, do you mean January? Regardless, happy early birthday, Alan. I'm trying to think, do I have much to say regarding Star? Or, as of super recently? How he asks, have you seen Amphibia? I saw a couple episodes. I'm keep going with Amphibia when Disney Plus launches because their Twitter feed says that Amphibia is coming to the service, and since I want to check that service out anyway for my channel, that's how I'll get caught up. I mean, I am in the boat of a lot of people where I'm just like, I wish Disney just would have just kept it to something like Hulu. Not sure about Netflix, but they basically control quite a bit of Hulu nowadays. But at the same time, it's still something I wanted to check out for my channel. How he said my two sisters' birthday is on November 3rd and November 19th. That's really awesome. Let me, um, I totally wish them a happy early birthday. Yeah, as far as Disney Plus plans for my channel, I mean, as much as I would prefer it, that way, at the same time, it's like, well, the service is giving me a chance to see, Disney movies I've never gotten to see before, the Star Wars movies, and, even catching up on Amphibia, because I know things get really crazy, like, just like Gravity Falls and Star did. So I'm very interested in catching up on Amphibia. I know I said previously that the Star Wars movies might be the first things I check out on Disney Plus. Now I'm kind of not really super sure. Although I do want to see the original trilogy before Rise of Skywalker comes out. Maybe even the prequels. I mean, I know the prequels are lots of people make fun of the prequels. Darth Vader shouting no, and a bunch of other crap. But I still want to check them out and sort of form my own opinion. Yeah. Obviously, says Big City Greens is a very underrated show. Again, I saw a couple episodes of Big City Greens. It seems like a pretty funny show too. I saw the episode where Cricket is trying to, slingshot a chicken, and then the one with the steaks. There's a very funny scene in the steaks episode. I think it's the scene where like he forgets the steaks or something, and Cricket's eyes are just like super wide, and he's like, really horrified, and you hear his heart. Oh, and also the Blue Tater episode I also thought was really be funny too. So I'd also like to get back into watching Big City Greens. Yeah. Hey, Speed Force Spectre, Big City memes. Oh boy, I'm sure the meme community has come up with all sorts of ways to make memes about Big City Greens. So, did you do something big for Halloween, Speed Force Spectre? Looking forward to your response. I'm not sure why this just came to mind. I know there's some people out there saying, Sonic has been redesigned, for his upcoming movie. That kind of stuff. I want to wait for an official announcement so that I'll um be more comfortable with discussing. I do really hope that, the official redesign will be really good. What did you see Speed Spectre? Nah, it's my dad's birthday, so we just hang out. Oh, cool. Did you do something like go out to dinner and have birthday cake? That's what my family does when, somebody has a birthday. It's a lot of fun. Although interestingly for me, for the past couple of years, what they've done is like we often stay home for my birthday, but my mom will cook up my favorite dish of this pasta that's mixed with like butter and garlic salt, and it also has steak and broccoli. Hobby says, "Do you think the Sonic movie will be good or mediocre?" I mean, I can't judge something that I have never seen yet. I'm expecting the Sonic movie to be kind of a goofy movie. Like, hopefully, it won't be like aggravating or something, but it looks like a really over the top film. I still want to check it out, though. I hope at the very least it'll be an enjoyably fun time. You know, and that was also kind of why when the first trailer came out and the thought of like oh they should redesign Sonic didn't really cross my mind because I took it as well that's how they're gonna go with it. I hope the movie so in a sense like in terms of story and character my opinion hasn't really changed all that much. I just hope hey I hope it's at least enjoyable. So but yeah, I'm looking forward to hopefully Paramount will release another trailer. I think they will. It's unthinkable of them not to do it, especially since there is, quite a bit of hype for the Sonic movie. But I do hope they give, audiences at least another look at what Sonic does. I'm also curious to see if like they're doing the thing because in the trailer Jim Carrey as Eggman, he starts off as, normal looking dude. He acts really goofy like Jim Carrey always does. But at the very end of the trailer, I think I forgot to show this part of my trailer reaction. You see him as like bald headed Eggman. So I'm wondering if it's a thing where like as the movie goes on, he becomes more um more crazy and his appearance changes. I'll be asked, what do you think of Overwatch? I think the game is not that great. I'm not super into Overwatch or really admittedly not really into Blizzard franchises. It's not because of things like Diablo Immortal, or even though they kind of fuel my dislike for Blizzard, or the whole thing that's been going on with Blitzchung. It's just that I'm not really into the kind of games they make, regardless. Interestingly, I actually drive by the I go past the convention center that BlizzCon is taking place at. I'm very curious to see if there's going to be like epic traffic tomorrow going to work. But yeah, I don't really want to talk about the whole Blitzchung thing since it hasn't been something that I've really been covering. And but it's just like I'm really curious to see what are the news reports going to be like tomorrow. Speed for Spectre, I'm glad they changed the design because I would rather have them admit they made a no-no than deal with Sony Smurfs 1 and 2. Again, I would still wait for official confirmation. But the fact that, the director came out and said, hey, we're going to redesign the movie and we're going to delay the movie to, like, so that, people wouldn't freak out over, oh my God, they're going to, rush the movie. And I don't want them to rush the movie and make, the people who do the special effects go through things like crunch culture and that kind of stuff. So, but I definitely give this director a lot of credit. I mean, even for me, like I said, even if they decided that no, we're not going to do redesign, I understand they don't want to overwork their workers, but the fact they delayed the movie should mean that they gave these people more time to work on the film. So yeah, major kudos there. It'd be really interesting. I mean, as far as like the BlizzCon protest, I'm kind of expecting a thing that there's going to be some turnout of a protest. Kind of like what's been happening at the I think like at the Blizzard the company. I think it's going to be similar to that, but I'm kind of tempted to take this. Actually got this sort of um advanced compact Nikon camera, this Sequel Bixby 7700. Might take this tomorrow just in case. Um, Before Spectres, I like the design. Don't get me wrong, but I'm happy we get a more Sonic type design. And I'm not saying that and my point of view was basically hey, I give the because like I wasn't crazy about the design either. Like I thought it was kind of I guess you could say uncanny valley thing where it's like what like what is with like Sonic's fur and his eyes. So yeah, don't get me wrong, I really do appreciate they took the time to um redesign him, and I'm looking forward to seeing officially what they do. Eric says, "Some sorry if I'm being silent. I sometimes don't know what to say." Don't be pressured, Eric. I think the fact that you tuned in, is I'm happy enough that you decided to tune in. So don't get me wrong. And seriously, don't be pressured. We're all here to have fun. We've been just been going all over the place in terms of talking about different topics. But yeah, the reason why I don't usually like talking about leaks on my channel is because I just like I'm a person that's really paranoid with getting things absolutely right and as factual as possible and being as objective as I am. So as I worded that so badly, but I get so paranoid with facts. I'm just like I'm not comfortable with discussing leaks and that kind of thing. So I usually like to wait around. I may mention it in passing, but I always want to point out that hey, this is a leak, so who knows if it's real or not. You know, it's not that I never believe. Um, Bobby, how'd you know about my older account? It's because of the drama I had. Um, I guess technically speaking, hobby, but at the same time, I like you as a person because you're a very optimistic dude, hobby. I know we go through tough times, just like I've been through some really tough times lately, mainly because of things like learning to drive better and that kind of thing. But we're able to get through them. So yeah, so even though that's how I first met you, hobby, I do recognize that you have many great attributes of your own. So, but yeah, but once again, people asking about, don't be pressured to leave something in the chat. Just maybe come by, tell me how your hey, um and just let me know how your Halloween has been, and we could also talk about other things too. Speak for Spectres. Speaking of controversy, I got into trouble about Amazon's family stealing cinema drama. It was interesting. Um, yeah, just yeah, just drama on YouTube is just. I'm not overly familiar with the situation. Speed Force Spectre. I know from my perspective. dealing, with I don't know. I wouldn't say I deal with YouTube trauma. I do get trolled quite a bit. Not saying that, but in my case, I know that, things like, having to deal with like harsh comments and that kind of thing, it could really do a number on you. But yeah. You could actually move the time. I need to stop fiddling with my gear when I do these live streams. So, yeah. So, once again, people coming by, let me know how your Halloween has been. If you want to talk about things like your favorite Halloween special or even other cartoons. We briefly talked about things like Amphibia and, yeah, I was talking about Disney Plus. Javi, what'd you say? Do you think the reboot of Lizzie on Disney Plus will be good? I'm not big into Lizzie McGuire, so I honestly don't really have much to say about that. In terms of like what I'm looking forward to, plus or the Proud Family revival. I know I briefly talked about there is sort of a speculation because an actor on the Proud Family says, oh, the Proud Family is coming to one of Disney's streaming services, but as far as I know, Disney themselves hasn't confirmed it officially. I think it would be pretty awesome if they did reboot the Proud Family for Disney Plus. I think that would be really cool. I remember occasionally watching the original series as a kid, but I would I would hold off and wait to see if Disney officially announces new details officially. So yeah, and even if we don't like when Disney Plus launches, it doesn't necessarily kill the possibility. So yeah, as cliched as it sounds, the best thing we could do is really just hold on to hope, I guess. Speed perspective, would you say I used to have a crush on Lizzie McGuire and Hilary Duff? Looking back on it, I liked a good female singer and character. That sounds interesting. But as far as like what content on Disney Plus I'm specifically looking forward to, mainly with all these streaming services, it's mainly things like um mainly seeing their feature films from the past. I do want to at least check out some of the original content they're coming out with, just to get a feel for it. I'll be asked, would you like to see the original Kim Possible to return or reboot? I'm kind of mixed on it. I think if they went back and just made like if they just brought Kim Possible back as like a cartoon, I could see that happening. I haven't heard too many good things about the live action TV movie they came out with, but I wouldn't be like super against the idea of a reboot. Um, Speed for Specters, what are your thoughts on Unikitty being canceled? I'm really sorry to hear that. Didn't really get into Unikitty all that much, but at the same time, I know it has a fan base, and I'm sure people who worked on Unikitty worked really hard on the series. So in that aspect, I'm really sad to see it go. Eric asks, any games you are excited for coming soon? Games I'm excited for. I'm definitely excited for games like Doom Eternal. I still want to get the Switch version, even though that's being delayed even beyond the release date for PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And I'm also looking forward to Animal Crossing New Horizons. And me and my sis have discussed the idea of pre-ordering either Pokemon Sword or Shield. And kind of like Earthbound, my sis has played Pokemon X and Pokemon, I think, is it Pokemon Ultra Sun or something like that. And me personally, I do want to give the Pokemon games another go. For me, Pokemon as a franchise, I've said before that where I got more into like the characters, like especially like in the anime, whenever they would have scenes where the Pokemon would get a chance to express their individual personalities and that kind of thing. But kind of like Earthbound, I do want to give the game itself another chance. So yeah, Eric, you're definitely cool. So yeah, everybody's cool, on this live stream. So, if you're wondering, Pokemon Sun or Moon is a better go if you love characters. I think my sis actually said she got really feelsy playing Pokemon Sun. So I'm really curious to see if they're going to do a similar thing with Pokemon Sword and Shield. In terms of what games that I recently got Super Monkey Ball Banana Blitz HD. Um, I actually have this game for the Wii, but it's been such a long time since I've played Super Monkey Ball, so it's been a really good throwback. I also got, even though I have quite a few versions of this game, Dynasty Warriors 8 Extreme Legends Definitive Edition. I do have this game. Oh my god, I have it for PS Vita, PC. I've even played the PS4 version. Guess just when I need my Dynasty Warriors fix, it's always my go-to game. I also picked up Grid Auto Sport, which I'm surprisingly didn't really get into Grid Auto Sport because it's one of those like really like if you really know your way around cars, you'll really like um Grid Auto Sport. But if you're coming from more of a casual perspective, uh, it's gonna take some experience to really get the hang of. Um, Although I might give that more of a chance though, because I do enjoy playing racing simulator games. So obviously said, I ain't cool but kind. Much more power to you. Speed for Spectre said, Ultra Moon and Sun isn't great with how they handled the villain. We don't have Ultra Sun and Moon, so I wouldn't be able to comment. Eric says, thanks, Bobby. You're cool as well. Well, thank you, Eric. And there goes my phone, man. I mean, I guess on a note of Star vs. Forces of Evil, I would like to. Um, I've said this many, many times. I would like to see them maybe do a thing where they either have a sequel series or a TV movie, kind of like what Nickelodeon did with Invader Zim, the Hey Arnold Jungle movie, and Rocco's Modern Life. So yeah, like even at my workplace, I know a person who was like really into this idea of what if they made a sequel series starring Meteora and Mariposa. Speed for Spectre says, I was curious, are you going to review Trolls Holiday this year? Holiday reviews, I'm hoping to bring them back. I did see Trolls Holiday last year, but didn't get the chance to review it. I'll have to give that. I'm willing to give that one another look though. So yeah. So as far as just holiday reviews in general, I do have some. I tossed around ideas for like what holiday movie reviews I could do. I know that because I did trailer reactions for this movie, I do want to. I am thinking of checking out the oh boy, the Illumination version of The Grinch, which it's not that. It's just that it's things where it's like even if like I have low expectations for the movie, I still want to like check it out to give it a fair chance and to also just just to get caught up with what Illumination has been doing. Started humming the Four Side theme from Super Smash Brothers. Which honestly, the Four Side made a theme from Super Smash Brothers. The one with the big city, the one that goes do 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 like that one. That's actually one of the few Smash renditions of a instrumental piece from Earthbound that I actually really like. I actually really liked the Foresight music, even playing Smash Melee back when I was a kid. Um, Speaking for respect, I'm going to review Olaf's 30-minute fiasco. You know, in the case of Olaf's Frozen Adventure, I remember seeing the second half of it on TV. I personally don't hate Olaf's Frozen Adventure, but, and this is a really big but, I really like when I found out how they were able to squeeze that. Um, I think they were trying to like teach Olaf the lesson of he matters and that kind of thing. The way they squeezed it into Anna and Elsa's childhood, I thought was absolutely cringeworthy. So, I don't know. I personally don't hate the special. I'm not really. I wasn't really down for how they put that special in front of Coco when that movie was came out. By the way, speaking of Day of the Dead, Coco, really great movie. I mean, first half I'm sort of on, although it actually had some really good scenes. Like I remember the drama between Miguel and his family I thought was a really well done scene. And the ending is just like, oh my god, it'll really just, hit you in the heart. So I don't know. I guess for me, although I guess it's kind of like Tangled for me. Although me personally, between the two, I honestly prefer Coco. But yeah, but I definitely recommend it. Before Spectre was like, it's not bad, but it's tragically boring. I mean, I guess another criticism for me, I honestly wasn't, I don't remember being bored by the special, but I just remember I just didn't really think it did anything like super stand out. It's just the kind of thing where it's like, oh, okay, great. Frozen wants to do like their own take on a Christmas special. And I was like, eh. So, yeah. But I don't know. Maybe I should do a review of Olaf's Frozen Adventure as well. Who knows? I don't know. I mean, when I think about Christmas specials, like, I guess going off Speed for Spectre, I think of, like, in terms of, like, ones I really, 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 really dislike, I think of ones like, even though this is a New Year special, Rudolph, Shiny, New Year, and Frosty Returns. Like, those are the ones I think of when I'm just like, I don't like those specials. Speed for Spectre, Tangled is my jam. It's a lot better than Frozen in my eyes. I would love to watch the show. I'm honestly kind of on the reverse end of that. Although Tangled, it definitely had some really good ingredients for a movie. I remember when I was watching especially the first act and that climax, I legitimately felt like I was watching one of the 90s Disney movies. It just felt that, that good, just in terms of how it was able to keep me on the edge of my seat. I have heard that the Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure, that show I've heard people say is actually quite good. So it's funny because I didn't really, get into. I didn't really get into Rapunzel's Tangled Adventure when I watched the first episode, but I heard it goes in really epic directions, so I might also check that out. Hobby is like least favorite popular movie. Can you define popular, Hobby? Because I don't know, like least favorite popular movie. Would it be something like what when you say that, Hobby, do you mean something like Despicable Me 3 or something? Like a really successful movie that I'm kind of on? Or just in terms of it's popular through word of mouth? Oh my god, I'm still humming the Four Side theme. And there's even days where I sometimes hum the Pollyanna song from the Mother series. Da 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 da. I often sometimes hum that, to try to calm myself down when I'm driving. Um, Speed for Spectre, the Christmas special I can't stand is the Rocket Power Christmas special. Haven't seen it, so I honestly haven't even watched Rocket Power. I wasn't really big into skateboarding as a kid, so I personally can't comment on that. But yeah, to kind of think of it, there's actually, there's a lot. I mean, there's really good Halloween specials too. I mean, I guess it's kind of like we're starting to do the thing where it's like Halloween is ending, so we start talking about Christmas. But just in terms of like Christmas specials, I really like. I'm a fan of specials like Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I think my dad said I kind of learned to walk just by watching that special because they have that song, put one foot in front of the other. Maybe I should, because I know the Rankin Bass specials get kind of a bad rap for being very crudely animated, but I still really liked, in particular, Santa Claus is Coming to Town. I really should review that. And of course, the How the Grinch Stole Christmas special, the one with Boris Karloff, excuse me, Charlie Brown Christmas, Shrek the Halls. I mean, the list really just goes on just in terms of how many good, Halloween and Christmas specials there are. And just for Thanksgiving, perfect example is a the Charlie Brown Thanksgiving special. It's funny. I remember some people said that the character designs in Earthbound Beginnings kind of look like Peanuts characters, and I kind of joked and thought, yeah, right, like we're gonna see Snoopy fight a Earthbound, enemy someday, and I was like, well, he fought a chair in the Thanksgiving special, so he's not too far off. If you remember seeing the Thanksgiving special, he's trying to set up this one chair, and it's being like a butt, like it kind of comes alive, starts chasing him and pinching and like kicking around Snoopy. he I thought that scene was really funny. Um, Unikitty holiday specials are great. maybe I should check that out. Again, I'm not making promises. I'm just taking. I'm just looking at some suggestions. Rugrats Thanksgiving is really cute. I haven't seen that one myself. I have seen in terms of like Nickelodeon Thanksgiving specials. I've seen the Hey Arnold Thanksgiving. I've watched it every Thanksgiving for the past couple of years, and I thought that was a pretty good. I actually recently watched the Hey Arnold Christmas special, the one with Mr. Wynn's daughter, and I thought that was really sweet. That is the scene where Mr. Wynn talks about how he basically got his daughter out of. They imply, the Vietnam War, or is one of the biggest tear-jerking moments in Nickelodeon's history. Right next to the backstory of Chucky's mom. Which, yeah, even just thinking about, the ending scene of the Mother's Day episode of Rugrats, where they read the letter slash poem from Chucky's mom. I thought that was just really lovely, for lack of a better word. I've also heard good things about the Hanukkah special for Rugrats as well. Hmm. He says, I've heard the Star Wars Christmas special is horrible. Oh yeah, I reviewed that special last year. I'm sorry if I made you all deaf, but yeah, I mean, I watched that holiday special myself. Basically, even though lots of people hate Doug Walker these days, if you've seen the Nostalgia Critic for Star Wars Holiday Special, you've basically seen how bad that special is. Like, just I mean, one more. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's hard to come up with new things to say about the Star Wars Holiday Special, because it's just everybody's complaints about that special is like my complaints, to be quite honest. So yeah, no, like oh, no way. I've even heard members of the Star Wars cast I remember seeing in particular it was like an interview with Anthony Daniels, the guy who plays C3PO, where he was just like not a fan of the Star Wars Holiday Special. It's on YouTube. I honestly think that's like one of the only ways you're going to be able to see that special, and it's just like, yeah, it's just ugh. I mean, I remember one of the gags that I remember just having a WTF moment watching that special was when I think it was Harvey Korman was like instructing how to build that device, and gradually he just starts breaking down and then comes back up, and then he's starting to come down the screen, and I was just like, what the hell is this? So yeah, I will defend these. I'm not going to defend the Star Wars Holiday Special, but there's one cool thing. I do like the Jefferson Starship song that plays. I admittedly like to listen to that song every now and then. What's the name of that song? Let me look that up. I'm not going to play it on the stream because YouTube and copyright will have my ass, but Light the Sky on Fire. Yeah, honestly, I like that. Um, regular. What did Javi said? I prefer James Rolfe than Doug Walker. Yeah, James Rolfe. I mean, like what everybody else is saying, he's basically a model of how to manage your online reputation on YouTube. Um, Before Spectre said the regular show Thanksgiving is my favorite and was really great as a Glee fan because Cord Overstreet played a parody of Justin Bieber, which on Glee he had to see a Justin song. I don't know if I've seen the Thanksgiving. I know I've seen regular show episodes that center around Christmas, and oh my god, come to think of it, I really love those terror tales in the um in the park. I thought those specials were really good. One episode's like where the regular show characters get turned into pumpkins, and the one where I think it was there was this dude from years ago that comes back to haunt the characters. I thought that was both creepy and funny. Um, Bobby's like, "Hey, Bobby, want to sing? Is it Sing Sarah by Starship?" No, you don't want to hear me. He's singing Bobby. And also, I've listened to a couple songs from Starship before, but I'm not familiar with that one. But it's like, no, dude, you don't want to hear me sing. Although I have been tempted to sing the Queen version of Somebody to Love while dressed as Blood Moon Marco. I don't know. No, I mean, all I could say was, well, Gabby was into the idea. Although I don't really know if I could pull that off. I can't pull off the background vocals of, Queen, when they were like, "Can anybody find me?" It's just like, ooh, I don't know if my vocal cords are strong enough to pull that off. But I'm gonna have to. I know it's kind of abrupt, but it's 10 o'clock, so I'm actually going to end off the live stream here because I have to be up at 6 a.m. tomorrow to get ready for work. That's how these live streams have been lately. So yeah, so definitely has been a really fun Halloween hanging out with you all. I really appreciate the turnout of this live stream. Thank you, everybody. I'm not gonna name every single person because I don't want to forget somebody, but I really appreciate the turnout. So yeah, so I'm signing off. This has been Blood Moon Bobby, and I will see you all later. And have a very happy Halloween. And since we're heading into Thanksgiving and Christmas and the holidays of November, December, I wish you all a happy holidays, and I hope you all check out my content that's coming up soon. So please be subscribed for that. So yeah, so thank you all for tuning in.